Tate.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
You too.
I
It's
know
been
it's been a minute. Oh,
Yeah,
Jinx. Now you can't talk the rest of the interview.
no, I can't.
That's how it goes. Congratulations on everything, as always. Killing it.
So,
Yeah, that's so crazy. Especially the success that has been blowing up with sports car. It's been so fun to see. Do you still get that rush of excitement and like nervousness when a song like that starts to take off, or does it feel different?
yeah, I mean, of course, like I think it's always exciting to see when your song resonates with fans. You're just like, oh, they like this. It's just like it's always fun. Um, but yeah, it feels crazy. We're so close to the album, and there's so much going on that right now my brain's like, oh my God, everything's happening.
Yeah, seriously. Do you like buckle under that stress or do you feel like you can handle it pretty well at this point?
It really depends on the day. It depends on how I wake up that morning. Some days I'm like, this is easy. And then some days I'm like, I can't do anything.
Yeah,
So,
I can't function. I love that you brought up the idea of all your fans whispering along to Sports Car when you perform it at the show. Is this official? Do we want the fans to do this?
well, okay. I had an idea and I was like, this is sick if everyone whispered. And then I started to think about the actual logistics of like everyone whispering at a show. And I'm like, we'll see. If we try it once and it sucks, we'll scrap it. It's
Yeah,
like a group project.
totally. Yeah, very collaborative. I feel like the Tater Tots, though, like your fans are so dedicated and anything that you suggest to them, they'll take it and run with. So I feel like this will happen. You can make it happen. Is there any other like fan participation things that you have in mind for songs that you'll be performing? Is there maybe a dance that can come up that fans do or something?
I mean, we haven't honestly started rehearsals for tour yet. We just started like planning out the tour. Um, but yeah, there's for sure gonna be lots of moments. We just like usually my choreographer Bankhead is the one who like gets all the choreography little clips that are cute and people love. So it'll be up to him to see what he does.
Yeah, totally. Have you thought about the set list at all yet, or does that come later?
Yeah, we just started talking about it, which is crazy.
Is it hard to, because you do have such a like discography at this point, is it hard to figure out like what goes where or what songs to include from past albums?
Yeah, it is difficult. Especially because just like the vibe of you have to really figure out what vibe you want for the show. And I've gone through obviously many phases of music. So it's kind of just like what sections need what and if this fits in here, then maybe we'll bring it back. Like it's all just a discussion and flow, how it feels. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so wild. That's just so exciting. Speaking of the vibe of this album is how you've described it. It's like a new Tate, like we haven't heard before. How much of this album was written by Tate and how much was written by Tatiana?
I would say a fair amount was written by my alter ego. Like just being, I think just because I was on tour, the headspace that I was in was not like my typical introverted headspace. I was just like, you just walk different, you talk different, you act different when you're on tour. It's so weird. Um, but yeah, I would say like I really am curious to see how fans are gonna process some of these lyrics because I mean, they're like pretty, like some of them are pretty ballsy, some of them are pretty bold for me and feel the most sensual and mature I've gone for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it. I want to talk about the song Revolving Door.
Hmm.
Did the title of that song come from the Sex and the City reference?
Actually, no, it didn't. I had
Didn't.
always
Okay.
wanted to write a song called like, but I keep coming back, like a revolving door, like feeling like a never-ending cycle. Always wanted to do that. And then I was just got into Sex and the City and saw that of Carrie, and I was like, this is a sign.
Yeah.
So I took a picture.
Crazy. Have you watched enough Sex and the City to like resonate with a certain character? Because everyone describes themselves as either like a Carrie or a Samantha. Or,
Yeah, what do you think you are?
okay, I hate to say it because I love Sex and the City. I wish I was like a Samantha, but I sadly think I'm a Carrie, which is
Okay.
unfortunate because no one likes Carrie. Yeah. What do you think you are?
I think I'm a mix between Miranda and Carrie, actually.
Okay,
Not
yeah.
actually not Miranda, Charlotte. Charlotte
Oh,
and
Charlotte.
I think I'm Charlotte and Carrie. That's who
Okay,
I
I
think.
can see it.
But yeah, I'm in season 4. So I'm like I know.
Yeah, you're in it. It's
I
good,
know.
right? Then you
It's
have to watch in Just Like That and all of the newer ones, which aren't as good, but it's just part of the lore.
right.
Anyways, we could talk about Sex and the City all day, but I do love that that is a reference. That connection is so sick.
Yeah,
That's amazing. Purple Lace Bra, I am obsessed with. I love it. I like that it talks about like a relationship, but I feel like this is a song that gets into your relationship with the media.
for sure.
Yeah. How is navigating that relationship?
It's confusing. Obviously, like I've loved putting my music and art on the internet for so many years since I was like 13. And it's never really scared me. Like hate and judgment has never really scared me. But I think when it came to like this year and turning 21 and feeling like a woman for the first time and feeling confident and like in my own body. Like to feel that much talk about women's bodies and their face and the way that they act and the way they talk is so exhausting sometimes. It's like it is literally never ending. It just and I just feel like sometimes the internet's such a hateful, judgmental place. And it is like it was, I think, difficult for me, like just trying to like, feel like as every girl does, try to feel good in their skin and want to live their life a certain way and then get like constant like um what's the word? Get
Like berated?
yeah, it's just like it's just conflicting in your brain sometimes. And I think I was dealing with that a little bit, being like I want to release the art that I want to release and I want to put out things that I believe in. But then also just like having to deal with all of that afterward is like a whole other thing.
Literally, when you reference things like being seen and not heard, does that change the way that you approach your songwriting?
Yeah, for sure. I think I mean I feel like I've always been very straightforward on how I felt about things. Um
Mhm.
I'm not a very like beat around the bush songwriter. Like I very much get to the point about what I'm talking about. Um but I felt like this album I just really wanted people to like listen. And I think especially in Purple Lace Bra, which is one of my personal favorites. It was just a very personal song at being
Mhm.
like, you're not hearing me. You're
Yeah,
like literally watching me as like a image and not like you're not hearing me.
totally. And I feel like the true fans of your music and the ones that do hear you will hear that in the song, where I feel like other people might just like take it at surface level, which is,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I've had a few people like interviewers and people just like hear the song and be like, oh, it's a song you wrote about sex. And I'm like, oh, that's so funny. You actually ironically didn't listen to the song.
Right. Like if you actually listen.
Didn't listen to anything that the lyrics were saying, which is
Right.
is it is funny. It's like the irony of it all.
Right, which is like what the song is all about.
Yeah.
Totally. Chappell Roan and other artists have talked about their like their relationship with the media and with fans and with people stepping over the line. How do
Yeah.
you navigate through that? Do you find that challenging to deal with?
I mean, I think everyone has their own personal preferences on what they're comfortable with and what they find um normal and makes them feel good. Like, I think it's really cool of Chapel to speak out about all of that stuff because that's how she feels. It's just her as a person. Um, I think, like, for me, it all is circumstantial. It's like, I love seeing fans, I love being around them. There's like, I think the internet is fucking weird and people are say so much on there, and I try to stay off the internet, but I love seeing fans in person. I think my fans, at least from who I've met in the past, are really respectful and cool. So yeah, but I do think that like everyone has their preference and everyone has their way of dealing with all of this because it's not normal.
Yeah, definitely. And it feels like it's getting like louder and worse, doesn't it?
Always, every year it's getting louder and worse and just more like everyone can like break apart anything. You can tear apart anything, which is so crazy.
Yeah. And people can have opinions about things, but then other people will just be like, you're wrong. But then they're not understanding that people can have different opinions and all of that. Yeah. It can
Yeah.
be frustrating for sure. Were there any songs from the album that ended up being like rewritten or ended up having like a transformation that before it like felt right?
Sports Car definitely went through like 20 versions of production
Really?
to just like nail that chorus. To make it feel right because the whisper was so hard to support with production. So that went through a lot of versions. I would say I retracked vocals on a lot of them to make sure they felt right. What other ones got rewritten a little bit? There's a song called Blood on My Hands that I went in and rewrote a couple times and shifted around the lyrics. So we started with like a melody and then had to like rewrite the lyrics a million times. So yeah, it was like a work in progress album. Like I had to keep going in and redoing things.
Yeah. How many songs did you write for the album that ended up getting like scrapped or put away?
I probably wrote, I don't know, like 60.
Damn,
I think I write a lot of songs.
that's crazy.
Wrote around 60.
That's so wild. I can imagine finding out that your music gets leaked online is something that is just like truly disheartening.
Mhm.
How did that situation go down for you on your end? Like, how did you find out about it?
Um, I got a DM from a fan, and they were just like, "Girl, your whole album just leaked," and um, I was like devastated. I mean, I didn't. I was saying this earlier. I didn't realize how much I like cared until you get all your control kind of taken away from you. Um, I just like was sobbing. I'm like, there's literally nothing I can do. Like, I feel like as an artist, all you want to do is just like control everything. And as a problem solver, I was just like trying to think of anything. And at that point, you're just like, oh my God, like there's literally nothing I can do to save this. And that's just sad. I was just really sad.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like something that's taken away from you. It's stolen from you, right?
Yeah, for sure. It was really devastating for sure. It sucked.
So we've covered which Sex and the City character you are,
Yeah.
but you're also a Cancer.
Yes.
What's the most Cancer thing about you?
I would say the most cancer thing about me, I would say I used to hate to admit that I was sensitive, but I am sensitive, but cancers are sensitive in a different way. I think we're internally sensitive. Like I'm not a big crier, I'm not a big like emotional person, but I internalize everything. I can feel every energy in the room. So I would say maybe that. What's
Yeah,
your sign again?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay, what do you think's the most Sagittarius thing about you?
Sagittarius people are known for being like very independent and
Okay.
like very adventurous. Like they always want to just like, I don't know. Yeah. So I think for me, for a long time, I I don't know, had a hard time like getting close to other people. I'm like, no, I can do this on my own. I can do everything on my own. I don't need any help from anybody around me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn now to like let people in and work better in groups and relationships and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, that's all I got. That's it.
Oh, great.
Done. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you.
You
I'll see you
too.
at your show. I feel like every time you come back to Toronto, you're in a bigger venue, which is just so sick. The first time I saw you was like a bar of like 20 people right before COVID, which was nuts.
That's so crazy. I'm
Isn't
so
that crazy?
Oh, it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. That's so sweet. Okay. Thanks, Tate.
Yeah. See ya.